My mom passed away when I was a teenager. My dad and I, along with my 2 years old pet dog Marshall, live in my mom's ancestral house. I inherited it along with other expensive assets when she passed away. My dad moved on pretty quickly, and I found out much later that he was in touch with his high school sweetheart for sympathy first, and then moved to affection, and God knows what not after my mom's health started to deteriorate. It's okay. It's his life, and he had to move on someday as he is just turning 45 now. He recently got married to her. I'm okay with it if he is happy. They got married while they were on a trip with their friends. She moved into my home a week after the small wedding that I wasn't even invited to, since I had no clue my dad was already available for others and he was with someone. She came with baggage. I now have two stepsisters. We'll call them Meryl and Marin. They are about 20 years old. They came to my house with their two chihuahuas, George and Gil. They study at the state college nearby, and Stella thought it would save a lot of money if they live here instead of paying rent. My dad was sweet enough to make sure I was comfortable with this arrangement, and I agreed to make him happy. It was a huge mistake. I thought the house was big enough for us. We had 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, a basement, and a huge yard with an inflatable pool. We also had an attic where we moved all of my mom's stuff after the new members arrived. So Stella wanted to make changes right after she came in. The first thing she wanted was my bedroom. Her reasoning was that it had the largest wardrobe and even decided that I wouldn't need that much space right now, so it was best if I moved into one of the other rooms to make way for her branded purses, outfits, and shoes. I argued that it had been my room since I can remember, and she can't make me move out of my room in my house. My dad jumped in and agreed to give her his side of the closet in their room too, so she could have extra space. His things were shifted to another room adjacent to the master bedroom. The second problem was Stella's twins. They had this nasty habit of barging into people's rooms without knocking. Just a few days ago, Marin came into my room in a bra and underwear. She was looking for something, and I don't know why she thought it would land in my room magically. I am currently working from home as I have established myself at my workplace, and my boss is assured that I will get the work done even if I don't walk into the office daily. So when she came in, I was in the middle of a work call, and she literally walked behind me where everyone could see her. It was so embarrassing for me. Their dogs are not potty trained either and left poop and pee around the house, and they wouldn't even clean up after their respective pets. The pets were too harsh towards Marshall, near his right eye, where I had seen the other 2 dogs would nip at when they got a chance. You get the picture. The most horrible thing they did without my permission was that they removed all our family photos and dumped them in the attic without my approval. The photos included those of my grandparents, great-grandparents, my mom's family photos, my family photo, and all my baby photos as well. I took the effort of bringing them all back down and placing them where they belonged appropriately. Stella kept taking them down and pretended as if nothing happened. A few days ago, she did it again, and this time she replaced the photos with those of her own, her family photos, and especially a lot of her twins' photos. Stella and I had a nice argument about it. How dare she? I clearly told her when I had the chance that she cannot do anything to the home decoration and basically anything related to my house without my approval, and also let her know that her daughters needed to learn how to potty train their dogs and knock doors before entering someone's room. Gosh, so much was going on after their arrival. She replies edgily and says that it is her house too now and she can do whatever she wishes to as well. She announced that she would be making up some new rules around here that we all would have to follow, especially me, since I was such a wild animal doing whatever I wanted to. She crossed a limit when she accused my mom of raising me poorly. That was an understatement and definitely not true. I immediately asked her to pack their bags and leave with her twins because I was kicking them out. I warned her that I would call the cops and tell them they were trespassing on my property. She was shocked and went to her room. She was wondering what's with this "it's my house" bullshit, but do I really care? So my dad rushed home immediately because Stella snitched on me, of course, and I'm glad she did because I didn't have the time or energy to play games with her anymore. I wanted them gone already. He started explaining to me that they were still getting used to the house and the move here had been difficult for them. I told him about all the issues I had been facing back at home with them while he was gone, but he kept insisting that it is going to get better with time. I told him that I had put up with their shit for too long now and I had enough of them. He kept on defending them more, taking their side like I didn't matter to him anymore. So I just told him bluntly that if he loved them so much he could move out with them, and if he cared for me he could stay. It was his choice from that point onwards. I also made it very clear that they all had time until the end of the week. I am now in a dilemma if I did the right thing or not. I never wanted to put him on the spot earlier too. That was the whole reason I was putting up with his new family's shit show until now. I gave them many chances for the past few months. But what she said about my late mother was the tipping point for me. There was no way she could disrespect me or my mom in the house where we both grew up and owned. Sorry, not sorry. So just a quick update. I did read all of the comments and want to thank you all for supporting a stranger online and validating her. I really do appreciate it. The thing is, I hate confrontation, arguing, and anything that could lead to possible fights between me and others. That's not me. I will be changing all the locks around my house, as some of you rightly suggested. There is one issue though. Unfortunately, the main gate of the property is quite old and rusted now, and it has been open forever. I cannot really do much about it now. I also called the same lawyer that handled my late mother's will to review if there were any loopholes in it, and to check if there was any chance my dad could contest it. I will be meeting with her in a couple of days. My dad is a good man. He has worked hard to provide for me and my needs before and after my mom. He has never ever asked me to use my money to help with the household expenses. He makes a decent amount of money as an engineer, like 7 figures, so I don't think he is after my money. I could be wrong though, as some of you are asking me to tread carefully for my own good. I just think that he is enamored with Stella, who still finds him attractive at this age, and the fact that they were high school sweethearts doesn't help either. I did confront him about his impromptu wedding and how he kept things from me, as many of you had suggested I do. I told him they would figure out their lives, and if he was so sad without them, he could go too, and I wouldn't hold any grudges against them, who own so much stuff that they require a whole extra wardrobe just to store it. Some of you even pointed out to involve my mom's side of relatives if Stella gets competitive about the house, but my mom was an only child, and hence my grandparents left her everything. So when my mom passed away, I automatically got most of what she inherited as per the will, and I found out from the lawyer over the phone that she did in fact leave a small chunk for my dad as well. I guess she knew about his affair, so she made the changes in the will for me to get the majority assets and wealth maybe? I don't know. My paternal grandparents live about 7 hours away with their other kids and their families. It's just me and my dad here. And Marshall. Marshall is happier now and seems to enjoy the peace around the house too. I will update regarding the lawyer meeting as soon as possible. Thank you so much for your help. Sorry for the late update, guys. It's been more than a month, but I got so stuck up with everything I almost forgot I needed to fill you all up with the course of my legal contract. So I spoke with my mom's lawyer, Anna, about the issue on Sunday last week and asked her if there was a way for anyone to contest my mom's will. She showed me all the documents pertaining to the house, and my parents had both signed on one of the agreements that they both were in unison about what was left to both my dad and me, and he or anyone else could not contest it in the future for any reason whatsoever. Mom for the win. Anna also advised me to give them at least a month's notice to move out to avoid legal troubles, as they were married now and she had her few rights as my dad's wife for living in his house, which was technically mine. So the inheritance issue was solved without too much fuss. 2 days ago, I was supposed to have dinner with just my dad. But Stella and her twins were present there too, so I wanted to make it quick and end my misery. I came straight to the point, ignoring the other 3 women who were also there at the table. I told Dad that I had a word with Anna and that his new family had 30 days to find a new place and move out. Stella tried to object to this. She came to the dinner with Dad for this, of course. My dad shut her down and requested me to think about what he said calmly. He suggested that we could fix this issue and we could all go to family therapy. He thought we needed some time to get to know each other better, and it wouldn't be possible if we lived apart. He insisted that we give Stella and her girls a chance. Again, cue my eyes rolling. I told him he needed to make a choice then and there, and sadly, he chose Stella. They all moved out pretty quickly after that. I even helped them find a place about 20 minutes away from my house so they wouldn't feel I was too high and mighty all of a sudden. We also made a deal to have Sunday dinners together. Just me and Dad, of course. It was also the twins' final exams in a month or so, and I didn't want to ruin their grades for family issues. It's Thanksgiving soon, and I don't want to spend it all alone, so I will be inviting my boyfriend and his family and also my 2 best friends for a nice dinner. My boyfriend is interning at a medical school in New York, and I'm into the finance field. My mom left behind funds for my education and other expenses, but I will save them for emergencies. I am also investing my money in stocks and trying to plan my life ahead. I see Stella and her daughters sometimes around town, but I don't think I can make small talk with the people who forced me to go away from my dad. No, they didn't have any issues, my mom and her. She was just mean and greedy. She was shocked to find out I owned and inherited the house, and it was not my dad's. My boyfriend and I are going to get engaged soon, but for now, we're taking a holiday to some nice and exotic place to relieve all this house-fighting stress and the pain of losing all my family. It's okay, it's my dad's life after all, and he can do whatever he likes. I wouldn't be happy if he chose me and lived the rest of his life unhappy. My boyfriend signed a prenup willingly, and we are soon moving in together. I used some of my own money to renovate the house recently and give it a bit of a modern touch. A lot of you have asked me to make sure my security game is on point, as I am mostly all alone now. I am not in touch with the security agency for that, and I have also installed a new and much stronger main gate on my property. I'm planning on getting a full-time maid and a watchdog too. I guess I won't be updating after this. I hope things go as planned and my stepmother doesn't try to cause any more problems for me in the future.